Good morning, cadets. Today, let us discuss about few important events related to the Indian nationalism. Nationalism in India specifically recorded after the revolt of 1857. The revolt of 1857, or the first war of Indian independence, or the Sipahi Mutiny as it is called by the British. After that, the several events considered as the part of Indian national movement, the rise of Indian national movement against the British rule. In the year 1885, the Indian National Congress was founded by A.O. Hume. The Indian National Congress by A.O. Hume. The very purpose of Indian National Congress, establishment of Indian National Congress, to help the British in administration because of the upheaval of 1857. So after Indian National Congress was formed in the year 1885 by A.O. Hume, Indian National Congress, the working of Indian National Congress can be divided into three phases, that is moderate phase, radical phase and Gandhian period. 1885 to 1905 is called as period of moderate phase. Till 1920 it is called as radical phase, and after 1920 till the independence is called as Gandhian era. So it is obvious or it's clear that Gandhian era is nothing but the time period where Mahatma Gandhi led the freedom movement in India. Mahatma Gandhi was practicing law in South Africa. He left India in the year 1907 to South Africa. He returned to India in the year 1915. So today let us discuss the few important movements supported by Mahatma Gandhi after his arrival in India. Khilafat movement and the non-cooperation movement. Before the Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement, let us understand the few important events which took place under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So, in 1918 to 1919, the distressed UP peasants organized by Baba Ramachandra. Baba Ramachandra, famously known as Sannyasi. So, the movement led by Baba Ramachandra is called as Sannyasi movement. In the year 1919, Gandhian Hartal against Rowlatt Act, and result is very unfortunate and infamous Jallianwala Bagh massacre. And in the year 1921, Gandhiji started non-cooperation and Khilafat movement launched. Khilafat movement, of course, launched by Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. The non-cooperation movement was launched by Mahatma Gandhi. But prior to 1920, Mahatma Gandhi led movement or supported movements like Champaran movement against the indigo planters, Champaran movement. He also supported cotton mill workers and he also supported the Kheda movement in Gujarat. So, Mahatma Gandhi actively participated in various movements like Champaran movement, Kheda movement, and supported the Khilafat movement. And later he himself launched the famous non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji forced to withdraw the non-cooperation movement. So here what we have to understand, the very purpose, or there are two ways in which the any movement is. One is the aim, the second is the way or the means to reach the aim. For example, if you want to score 90% marks in your board examination, that is your aim. What are the means? Means is study hard, revise hard, and write well and get the marks. Even few may say that whatever it may be, copy, cheat, but reach your goal. Mahatma Gandhi was of the opinion that our aim is important, at the same time the means to reach the aim is more important. So what is the aim? Aim is to achieve freedom, liberate India from the clutches of the British government. But the means is very important, because Gandhiji felt that it is very important that we should lead the movement in a non-violent way. Gandhiji always felt that if you are fighting against injustice, I repeat, if you are fighting against injustice, then there is no need of taking violence into your hand. That is what the Gandhiji's very, very important. So Gandhiji withdrawn non-cooperation movement with the incident of Chauri Chaura in the year 1922. Now referring about Alluri Sitaram Raju. Alluri Sitaram Raju, a tribal leader, who organized the people and was considered as a mystical hero, because Alluri Sitaram Raju and one more name, if you remember, Birsa Munda, Tribal Discourse and the Vision of Golden Age chapter. So Alluri Sitaram Raju trained his people in a guerrilla warfare, and he opposed the British in a very, very strong manner. So Alluri Sitaram Raju arrested, ending the 2 years of armed tribal struggle in the year 1924. And later, Lahore session of Indian National Congress of 1929. Indian National Congress had session in various places almost every year. In each and every session of Indian National Congress, I am talking about the Congress prior to independence. In each and every sessions of Indian National Congress, one of the prominent leader used to chair the meeting. So under the chairmanship of so and so, that is what we generally call. So Lahore session of Indian National Congress chaired by Nehru. The Lahore session of Indian National Congress adopted the demand for Purna Swaraj. Prior to 1929, the Indian National Congress was demanding a dominance status. Dominance status means British allowed Indians to have their government, but the Indian government not enjoy the freedom. They have to work under the control of the British. So the Lahore session of Indian National Congress decided to fight for complete independence. That is what we speak about Purna Swaraj. The complete independence or Purna Swaraj. As a result, they celebrated the first Independence Day. In 1930, Ambedkar established Depressed Classes Association. If you remember, in the year 1927, Ambedkar led a movement called Temple Entry Movement. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Sri Narayana Guru, Periyar Ramaswamy Nayakar, very few important leaders who led the downtrodden or the lower sections of the Indian society. So those days, the Dalits or oppressed class were not allowed to enter the temple. So Ambedkar started the temple entry movement in the year 1927. Periyar Ramaswamy Nayakar started a movement called Self-Respect Movement. What is Self-Respect Movement? Those days, in the sessions of Indian National Congress, the seating arrangements were done on the basis of caste. Means Dalits and the lower caste were not allowed to sit on the chairs. They were asked to sit at the back on the floor. So Periyar Ramaswamy Nayakar started a movement called Self-Respect Movement. So there were several instances where the depressed class or the lower caste or the Dalits, they were not the part of Indian National Congress. So Ambedkar started an organization called Depressed Classes Association, in which the Dalits oppressed in the lower caste were joined together, and the Depressed Classes Association was fighting separately without joining with the Indian National Congress. 1930, Gandhi began civil disobedience movement by breaking salt law. So the first movement led by Mahatma Gandhi is called as non-cooperation movement. Second is called as civil disobedience. Third is Quit India. What is the difference between non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement? Of course, civil disobedience movement is nothing but breaking the laws passed by the British government. British government passed salt law, in which the price of the commodity called salt was increased. Not only that, British also prohibited Indians in manufacturing and selling of salt. So Gandhiji felt it's the right time to oppose British in a larger scale. That's the reason why 1930 Gandhiji begins the civil disobedience movement by breaking salt law at Dandi. And in 1931 Gandhiji ends civil disobedience movement because of Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Viceroy Lord Irwin and Gandhiji signed an agreement in which Irwin agreed for few demands out of 11 demands put forward by Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi agreed to withdraw the civil disobedience movement and participate in the Round Table Conference. In 1931, Gandhiji ends the civil disobedience movement. December 1931, Second Roundtable Conference, that's in the year 1932, civil disobedience movement was relaunched. So, the important events. So now let us move to the first one, that is about the famous leaders. Of course, here it is mentioned. Now let us move to the first one, that is Khilafat movement. The Khilafat movement was led by Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Khilafat movement was in support of the Khalifa of Turkey. His name Mustafa Kemal Pasha was removed from the power for supporting Germany. So the Khilafat movement was started in India to show the solidarity to the injustice done to the Khalifa of Turkey by the Muslim brothers in India. So one of the major reasons for this is the common enemy. The common enemies were British, were the common enemy. And the First World War was fought between 1914 to 1918. That is the time of First World War. Gandhiji's idea of Satyagraha. Gandhiji returned to India in the year 1915. As you know, he had come from South Africa, where he successfully fought the racist regimes with the novel method of mass agitation, which he called Satyagraha. The idea of Satyagraha emphasizes the power of truth and the need to search for the truth. So what is Satyagraha? It is the need to search for the truth. That is what the power of Satyagraha. It suggested that if the cause was true, if the struggle was against injustice, then the physical force was not necessary to fight the oppressor. So that is what I explained to you. Gandhiji strongly believed that if you're fighting for justice, if you're fighting for truth, if you're searching for truth, then if your struggle is against injustice, then there is no need of physical force to fight the oppressor. Without seeking vengeance or being aggressive, a Satyagrahi could win the battle through non-violence. So you can win a battle through the non-violence without seeking vengeance. This could be done by appealing to the conscience of the oppressor. People including the oppressors, had to be persuaded to see the truth instead of being forced to accept the truth through the use of violence. So instead of making somebody to fight against the injustice using the violence, but that is not required. By this struggle, the truth was bound to ultimately triumph. Gandhi believed that this dharma of non-violence could unite all Indians. So, after arriving in India, Mahatma Gandhi successfully organized Satyagraha movement in various places. That is what in 1916, he travelled to Champaran in Bihar to inspire the peasants to struggle against the oppressive plantations. In 1917, he organized Satyagraha to support the peasants in Kheda in Gujarat, affected with the crop failure and plague epidemic. The peasants of Kheda could not pay the revenue, were demanding revenue collection, and in 1918, Gandhiji went to Ahmedabad to organize Satyagraha movement against amongst the cotton mill workers. So Gandhiji involved in various movements. That is what I explained. In the year 1917, 16 Champaran movement, 1917 Kheda Satyagraha in Kheda, and 1918 supported Ahmedabad mill workers, cotton mill workers, and 1920, of course 1919 the Khilafat movement supported, and 1920 non-cooperation movement, 1930 civil disobedience movement or Salt March, and 1942 Quit India movement. So today we discussed about the various aspects or various movements and events in the Gandhian era in the early 1920s. Thank you.